Will Show has everything you want to know. Keep up everything about sports so you gon' catch his flow. Never be low. Check it every day, cause he gonna upload. You gonna be happy, cause you call his flow. Talking, he gonna make you even wanna talk. Might even get inspired, take it for a walk. Listen to his voice, yeah, you have a choice. But if you don't listen, you gonna be lost. Catch your attention like Randy Moss. Share it like you really just did a toss. Kick your feet up, enjoy the show like you a boss. He's gonna make you happy so you don't worry. Like and subscribe and join the ride. Not from Alabama, but we stay roll tide. Shows every night, so you better slide. Hit the nutty zone to be on our side. It's the Will Show.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Will Show. Yours truly, Will I Am, in the building with Will. Got a great one for you tonight, guys. I told you guys I was coming back. 54 Sports is doing great things. We got many shows, and my brothers got a lot of other stuff they're doing. So I just inherited my show back to myself, for myself, which is much love, big time. I'm gonna tell you what. I wanted to go ahead and make sure we get an early start. I know school just ended, things like that, but I'm ready to bring you guys coaches, ADs, players. It's time to get it cracking. We know school's out, but it never ends. Sports never ends. And so tonight, got a great one for you guys. Let you guys know right now where to find pretty much sports, 54 Sports Network everywhere. We on Facebook, X, Twitter, Instagram. So make sure you follow those. You can see at the bottom. You can go ahead and check it out. It's going to be doing all the show. Also, don't forget tomorrow. Tomorrow we will announce the players of the week for baseball and softball. So go ahead. You continue to vote. You can go on the group, Players Clubs group, or you can go on Facebook page, or you can go on X. Go ahead. These kids deserve it. It's crunch time. There's already playoffs for the baseball and softball. So show them love, without a doubt. Also, don't forget tomorrow, the guys are back. Derby City Sports Review Show. We're going to be rocking and rolling with that. So hopefully we'll have a big panel like we did last week. We'll see. But nothing but fun. Y'all know how we do. But without further ado, let's get it cracking. Tonight, the Will Show has Chris Johnson, Academy of Shawnee Athletic Director. What's going on, Chris? How you doing?
I'm doing well, sir. How are you doing today?
Doing fine, man. I'm doing fine. Can't complain. I mean, hey, I'm just happy that you on here, because a lot of people, I'm from the West End. I live in the West End. And Shawnee, even though I didn't go there, I have some family members that went there. So I'm very, very intrigued to see what's the direction is going to be for the athletic department. So, hey, you started it off. Like I said, we kicking it off. New era, the Will Show, solo dolo. So, hey, I'm just glad you with me tonight so we can go ahead and learn a little bit more about Shawnee. Let me ask you this real quick, Chris. When you start being the AD for Shawnee?
This would be my 2026 school year. Would be my first year as the high school AD
Mm-hmm.
for Shawnee. I was the middle school AD this entire year there. I worked right beside Michael Jolly, who is retiring. Shout out to Coach Jolly. He is a staple in that community and very loved at Shawnee, and he did a great job for his tenure there. And he's decided to retire and pursue other avenues. Enjoy his life now. He's earned it. He has definitely earned it, and he's one of the better ones we've had in the district. So I'm very happy for him.
Let me ask
And
you this.
shortly before that, I was the
Go
middle
ahead.
school AD at Johnson.
Oh, okay. Okay. Cool. So so you've been an AD at middle schools for 2 years?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Cool. So let's go and start it off this way. Why did you want to become an AD?
Athletics is my passion, man. That's my drive. It's my goal. uh, coaching at CPS um, forever, it seemed like, and head coaching was a kind of a dream of mine as well. And I never got the opportunity to become a head coach. And then Chance Rattler, who's a great friend of mine, who is the safety administrator at Shawnee, gave me a call. At first, it was at Johnson, and hey, Keith Cat was the principal, and
Coach Cat,
sat
yes.
down with Keith, and shout out to Mr. Kathy, and sat down with him, and came into you know an agreement that I would take over the athletic department. And he taught me some great things. I mean, connections with Coach Kelsey, the AD at Male. I worked under Coach Zuber, the AD at Manual, when I was coaching at Manual.
Wow.
So I got under some really great minds, and I don't think I will ever go away from being the AD role ever again. I'm actually love it.
Wow, wow. Real quick, for the people who don't know, man, tell about your own sports journey, man. Go on, start off for the, you know how we do it on the show, youth league on up, man. Let everybody know where you started and all that kind of good stuff.
Originally from Fairdale. So I played my youth leagues at Fairdale Youth League. I couldn't even tell you who my coaches were, man. You know how youth league coaches,
Oh
they're
yeah.
all different ones every year. Uh, but I worked under, I played with the Fairdale Bulldogs. I'm a Fairdale hometown boy, South End proud, and got recruited, what you call recruiting, to go play at Butler. Um, Under Steve Jewell. But Butler was also one of my first choices. My cousin went to Butler,
Okay.
played college ball, got recruited, part of that. And I thought I could try to mimic it if I could. He's a lot bigger than I am, but I played under Steve Jewell as the first coach, and then Doug Lucas shortly after that. And then I decided I was going to walk on and play Division I football. I wanted to be that kid who, I guess you call it hometown hero. But I
Right.
walked on at U of L. I worked my, pardon my French, but I worked my ass off at U of L, and I got my stripes, man. I got my the logo on the helmet. I still got my jerseys in my not container, but frame in there,
Uh-huh.
and I cherish some things. So I really really put some blood, sweat, and equity into that. So I walked on to that. Graduated 2012 with a
Hmm.
bachelor degree and a minor, and then started coaching. I coached under Dr. Oliver Lucas at Manual High School for
Okay.
about 3 or 4 years. And then then I went over to J Town with the offensive coordinator at Manual. Worked under J Town for about 3 years. Shortly went to a couple other schools with some coaches. Me and Dante Ellison, shout out to Coach Ellison over at J Town, head
Yes,
coach.
sir. Yes, sir.
Very fond of that man. That dude is that guy is a diamond in the rough. I'm telling you, he's a hot name next to Anthony White. Me and Anthony White worked together. Coach Nino from
Oh yeah.
Atherton, we worked together at Manual. You got some of the hottest names in the city right now, and they're going to be blowing up soon. So I'm really proud of those guys. I'm really happy to see some of the coaching tree that Dr. Oliver Lucas started, and we're all just kind of progressively getting bigger and bigger. So I'm really happy with the state everybody's in right now, especially Louisville football starting to get much more clout, what the kids call it,
Yeah.
and I'm happy to see all this happening. So
Well, first of all, my bulldog brother Dante, Mr. Dr. Ellison, don't even bring his number up. I'm still waiting for Powder Blue, J Town, all that kind of stuff. So he's kind of banned right now. So I want to, but Coach Nino, pretty much everybody's been on the show. So no, man, that's great tree, great what you just saying that you've been a part of, man, and that's dope. So let's go ahead and get into. We're gonna get into basically the AD role and things like that, and also we're gonna talk about Shawnee. We want to get an update on that good stuff. So let me ask you this real quick, Chris. What do you consider to be the primary role of the AD, the athletic director?
we wear 1,000 hats. I think it's the most prestigious role and most important role in the school next to being the principal. I couldn't imagine being a principal. They have a very stressful and a hard job. And, the AD is kind of a hard job. It's a lot of time involved
Hmm.
in the school. You can ask my lovely wife here that I'm not home a lot during the fall.
Right, right, right.
Because you got soccer on Friday, you've got JV games on Thursday or Monday, however the coaches schedule it. You've got soccer games on Tuesdays, maybe Wednesdays, sometimes on Saturday.
Wow.
Um, then you got volleyball games also all and is at some point you've got games 3 days in a row, and then you might have a volleyball game on that Tuesday in the gym too. You know what I mean? So
Wow.
it's a very busy job. But we do this for the kids, and the kids get a chance to get the recognition they deserve. They work really hard, and the AD role is just very time consuming. But if you love the kids and you love what you do, this is actually one of the funnest jobs in the entire world. I wouldn't trade it for the world. Um, you're also in charge of you're facilitating money. You're facilitating other teams. You are in charge of scheduling. You're in charge of making sure your facilities are clean and top notch. Uh, you're in meetings all day long. You're a busy person. So if you're an AD and you're not really busy, you're really not doing your job right. And that's kind of how I was taught and how I'm actually experiencing it now.
Right, right. No, that's dope. That's accurate. Let me ask you this, and this is it's different things motivate people, but what motivates you as an AD, man?
Honestly, it's the kids. I filled myself in these shoes of these kids when I was their age. I didn't really get the chances that we could say hindsight 2020. I didn't get the chance I got, but I was actually blessed with it.
Hmm.
But I get a chance to kind of show the kids how I did this my way and how it worked for me. But there's always twists and turns you can make because everybody's different. For example, we got some kids at Shawnee right now who I think probably are some pretty good college athletes in the next couple of years. So I'm trying to, and we have a great head coach, Coach Corey Groom.
Hmm.
Man, dude's a rock star. Um, he's also played college ball, played in the NFL. Him and I kind of really connected the first time we met, and
Okay.
we're trying to show the kids on how our paths were, and maybe there's a twist or a turn there that will have your path that same way, if that makes sense.
Right.
But we're just trying to be the light in a maybe a dark situation that these kids don't. Some of these kids don't have the perfect lives, and not saying we didn't either, but
Right.
we experience that type of life they're trying to live. So we want to give a first class college experience to a bunch of high school kids, and that's my
Mm,
job.
love it. Love it. Definitely needed. So, being that you're the man of all these sports, how do you define success in athletics?
Graduation. If I can get you, not train you, if we can get your mind to change into a successful mindset. And by that, I mean we're putting you in a position where when you go out to the real world, you can take what you learned in athletics, the resilience, the fight, the adversity, how to overcome it, and strategy. And we can really take that and we can mold your mind. You're going to be a rock star out here in the real world, paying taxes, having a job, raising a family. I've never seen a person who wasn't successful in sports, and I mean not going to college, just successful person in the athletic world, not be a rock star of a human and an awesome father.
Hmm, love it. Yeah, big time. Big time. Let me ask you this, Chris. What do you consider your greatest strength as an AD?
I would say my work ethic. I have a very strong work ethic, and I'm okay to brag on myself on that. I work really freaking hard. That was instilled in me with my father. That was instilled in me with my grandfather. you know, that was still with our childhood. We had my mom and dad, I watched them work really, really hard to do everything they could with two individuals who did not go to college, who
Hmm.
work their butts off to give us the life that they thought their kids deserved, me and my brothers. So I have a very strong work ethic. I will work myself to the point where I'm physically and mentally and emotionally exhausted and then get up the next day and go do it again. I mean, I don't have a quit button on me. And that
Hmm.
might actually be a weakness too, because I don't really take time to myself.
Right.
Um, but me marrying the wife that I have, and she's athletic minded as well, and my son is a very athletic individual. That's a big thing for us. So we work really, really, really hard, and I don't quit until I get something done. And once I accomplish that goal, I move on to the next one.
Yeah, I like that. I like that big time. And you said something a little bit earlier, talking about you know college and things like that. How do you as an AD man? And I know it's got to be difficult, but how do you keep up with the different college recruiting procedures and things like that?
think you have to be obsessed with it. Just like you and I spoke off camera here, I was obsessed with football when I was coaching. I think that's why some of these coaches are successful. They're obsessed with them. And I can tell you from experience working with guys like Nino and Adrian Morton over at Eastern and Dante Ellison, they were obsessed with the sport. Um, LaCunta Farmer, shout out to,
Hmm.
that's one of the biggest mentors I think I've ever had in my life, and he's an old male guy too.
Right. I know
He was obsessed. Coach Farmer's obsessed with the sport. He loved the fact that kids, in order to see the changes in the NCAA, to see what colleges and the NIL and all that stuff, you have to be ingrained in it. And it just doesn't affect football. Granted, that's the biggest money maker in sports right now. It affects all
hmm
of college sports. So you need, I like keeping up with it. It's interesting to me, honestly. It's kind of I go on when I'm going to go work out or hit the treadmill or elliptical at the gym over at Crunch. I will put something on where they're talking about the NCAA. It could be a podcast or I don't know, some kind of YouTube video or something, and I will legitimately listen to it, and I'll forget how much time I've ran because I'm so ingrained in it. So it's kind of a weird thing, I guess, but my wife thinks I'm crazy sometimes with it, but it's just it's just interesting to see how much money and what these kids are enduring. And I'm telling you from experience as being a college athlete, you endure a lot. So it's really cool to see the recruiting process and how it's changed. And I'm so glad the kids are getting paid now. I wish they would back pay some of us, man.
I bet.
And I
I
was a
bet.
nobody, and I'm asking you to back pay me.
I bet. I bet. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I tell you what, Chris. It was definitely in the paper, and it was known. All these schools were getting different facilities and things like that, and you guys was one of the ones that got it. Before some other schools as far as the football field and things like that. Let me ask you this: can you give us an update on facility? Anything else? And you can brag about the lovely field you guys got. So, what's going on with the facilities at Shawnee?
I was going to brag on it anyway. To be real with you, I am obsessed with our field and our facilities. We're going through some more upgrades. I really don't know exactly what's going to be started because everything's happening so fast.
Hmm.
I feel terrible for those other schools that are not getting it. It sucks because I want them to experience kind of the cool thing we have with the turf,
Hmm.
the track, all the new stuff. Though, believe it or not, man, I was giddy like a little teenager about our concession stand we're getting, brand new one. Like I couldn't even tell you how freaking excited I was to get a new concession stand. So it's a cool thing to see that you can $2 or $3 million facility on your campus, man. When you get the chance to walk outside, I lock the gate, and in the summertime you can smell that turf.
Mm.
It don't smell like grass, but I can still you can see the heat rising. Man, it's the coolest feeling in the world. So I felt terrible that some of these schools don't get a chance to experience that. It did suck to hear. They didn't give us a reason why. I honestly don't want to get ingrained in that. That's kind of
Right, right. That's a
that's
total
out of
different.
my
Yeah, 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 yeah.
it's above
Well,
my
come
pay
on, Chris.
grade.
Come on, Chris. Get out of that. Get out of. Don't go down that dungeon. Don't go down that. No, leave it
No,
alone. Leave that
oh
alone.
man, no, I didn't even dip my toe in that rabbit hole, my friend.
Leave it alone. We didn't work. Yeah, yeah.
Uh-uh.
We're talking about
But
something.
I wanted to share. I share my field with other schools. We host the middle school games there.
Hmm.
We're going to be hosting some little league games there. There's certain people, and also I'm very protective. Like I need to know who's going to be doing this,
Right,
what games are going to be played, who are these coaches. I want to meet them, and there's certain individuals I've met over the last year, this past year, that I just do not want on campus. I mean,
right,
if you treat my stuff with respect, then it shows your character to me. Like you're showing
right,
how type of person you are. But if you disrespect it, it's not gonna happen. Um,
right.
and
And I
it's
was
not
gonna.
personal; it's business.
And I was going to ask you, Chris, how, as far as the community around there, in the West End, and I know, little leagues and things like that, are they knocking down the door to use the field and the track and all that kind of stuff?
100%. We've opened our doors to the Louisville Panthers. We're gonna have them on this summer. Coach Twenty, and the other guy's name is Coach Eric, I think. Coach Dwayne, I think his name is.
Hmm.
But the Louisville Panthers, we open our doors to. We've opened our doors to St. Stephen's and the LYFL. They have been great partners. You know, they treat our stuff like they treat their homes, man. Straight respect. They
Good.
love, it's awesome. We open the middle school. We host the middle school league also for JCPS. Us, Moore, J Town. What was the other one? Us, Moore, J Town, and I can't think of the other one. So it's exciting to see the kids get a chance to play on turf, and they
Right.
love it. The coaches love it. I mean, our facilities are, I brag about how beautiful our facilities are, and I'll take someone saying, "Hey, ours is better than this." That's cool with me, but you ain't got a facility down in the West End where everybody wants to be a part of it, man. So
Right. Right.
it's a really great experience. The community is wanting to get involved, which again, we don't have a problem with that, but it has to make sense,
Right.
and it has to be in the name of safety. And that's my number one
Okay.
priority is safety. I want the coaches, I want the kids and the parents to go home safe, happy, and enjoying, and they have the feeling they had a first class experience in the middle of Shawnee. So
Chris, and you hit it. It's not something I was going to add, but I probably will. I don't know. But you hit safety. Safety is first, man. How do you go about that, man? Like, are you in meetings? I mean, how do you? Because you hear it all the time. You could be at one game and then you hear that something happened or somebody brought a backpack or different stuff. So how, as an AD, man, how do you address the safety issues?
well, a lot of it's just transparency, just being straight up forward, honest, talking to the kids, and a lot of it for your own school is just relationships.
Mhm.
And we have a great admin staff. I will put my admin staff against anybody. I no disrespect to Coach Kathy at Mail. That's my guy, and I love
That's
him. But I'll put our admin staff against anybody. Our executive principal Holly Smith, our high school principal Joni Britt, our middle school principal Sade McKnight, our safety administrator Chance Rattler. Those guys are heavily ingrained in sports.
mhm.
Our APs are. I mean, we have a luxury of having great APs at Shawnee too, with Jody Shepard, Mia Sisney, and we have that luxury there. You know what I'm saying? That we get the chance to. Everybody gets a chance to be involved in sports, and they're
Right.
obsessed with it. So, with the safety aspect, is the same thing. It's relationships. These kids know, hey, we're very transparent with you how this is going to be ran. And
Mhm.
if you cannot meet this requirement, you cannot meet me at this line. You're just not going to do it. And then when we go outside and talk to community people who are wanting to use the field, we have guidelines, written guidelines, rules, regulations, and if you do not comply, you will not be back. So
Right.
this is the best way for us to protect a two, three, $4 million investment. And also it allows the community to come in and enjoy the fruits of our labor here.
True. True.
And they
Uh,
get to go home safe and happy.
Big time. Big time. That's what matters. Big time. Um, Being that you've been an AD, middle school, things like that. How do you show your coaches appreciation?
So this year I did an end of the year coaches luncheon. I bought Mark's Feed Store. We all broke bread and ate together, laughed together. We talked about the highs and lows. We discussed rules, regulations, policies, everything moving forward for next year. All the business stuff first. The
Hmm.
biggest one is, I do take care of my coaches. Obviously, they get paid through board contracts through JCPS.
Right.
Dr. Brooks, who's the executive athletic director over the whole district. She oversees all the board pay contracts along with Leslie Lunterman, who's a middle school lady,
Hmm.
middle school athletic director. I'm sorry, not lady, but middle school athletic director for all the middle schools. But they oversee the contracts, so the coaches get paid. We try, for me, I started with our coaches spirit packs. Granted, they have to pay for them, but they're getting nice stuff, man.
Hmm.
Um, we're going through Adidas with our gear for the coaches and the kids.
Okay.
So the coaches and the kids are all going to look the same. Everything's uniform. I'm blessed. I got a bunch of coaches that played college athletics, so
Okay.
they
Cool.
understand the uniform stuff. But they get nice stuff for a small amount of money, shoes, pullovers, stuff like that, and they're paying for it. It doesn't come out of the school budget because of red
Okay.
book policies. We can't do that, but they're getting an investment. They're feeling like stakeholders, and then any way I can to help them, any way I can help the coaches, man. I just want them to feel like I've got their backs, I'm behind them, and um, I can take care of them. We'll see what we can do, but we got to do things with policies and make sure we're doing the right stuff at the right time because it all comes full circle.
Okay. Cool. That makes sense. Big time. being that, like I said, first year as far as the high school, what is your vision for the athletic department?
I would like to see small amounts of growth, whether it be participation numbers in our kids. School spirit was a big one for me. Also, I want to see ownership into the programs from the kids. So
Mm-hmm.
that has been my priority moving to this year. And believe it or not, man, I'm trying. We like to see kids pay team fees. It comes with spirit packs. They get a chance to wear all the nice stuff around the school, kind of show it off to the kids are not playing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we are just trying to get a full investment from the kids because if they get a feel of stakeholdership and investment into the program, they're going to take care of your stuff. They're going
Right.
to clean up. They're not going to let any they're not going to let any stuff on their fields, they're not going to let any craziness happen because they're going to feel like they have a say so in how things has been done and ran. And I'm cool with having kids a voice in that. That's a good way to start giving some kids ways to be involved in their lives, and athletics is the perfect time to do it. So priority number one was to get a stakeholder and investment ship into the kids. I want them to start feeling like they have a say so with parameters
Right. Right.
because they are kids, and we got to understand this is still technically athletics, but we still have to run a business here. We still got to make a
Right.
revenue. We still got to bring money into the school. We still got to have an investment. We got to have the community involvements. Then number two was community involvement, building a booster club, wanting some athletic, I'm sorry, alumni association involved in that. That's kind of my goal I'm trying to push.
Mm-hmm.
And fundraising opportunities. It's actually more money for the kids. We can do a lot more cool stuff and just give it a first class college feel into the high school era. Shawnee's a perfect site for it, man. I'm telling you, this has probably been an eye-opening experience on how you can take a school like Shawnee with 1,100 kids total, high school and middle school in the building, probably like 1,400 maybe total in between them numbers, and show a first-class college experience where these kids will never ever forget it.
Right. Right. No, that's dope. I like that. So for the people who don't know, man, what sports are available? We know about football, basketball, any other sports. Talk about your sports.
We have head coach
There you go.
Isaiah Britt as our basketball coach. Yep, sorry about that.
No, you good.
Boys basketball, Isaiah Britt's our head coach. We have girls basketball, Ty Bailey's our head coach. And we have volleyball, Coach Erica Darby is our head coach for that. We have football, obviously. We have middle school football. Jonathan Cole is our head
Mm,
coach for that. Um, we have middle school flag football, who made it to the semifinals of the league or their division. So hey, I'm so proud of those boys. Next year, we're going to start girls flag football.
okay.
I had a
Okay.
bunch of inquiries about that, so I'm pretty happy about that. We hired a coach for that. Oh my goodness, she's gonna get mad if she hears this because I can't remember the young lady's name. Well, she's new. I'm still getting used to that one.
Right. Right.
Um, we have softball, Coach Mudd, girls softball. We have baseball, Coach Tim Ladd. Um, for the middle school side, I have a rock star, dude, of a soccer coach, Coach Jay Gravett, who does middle school and high school, and that guy is a rock star, up and coming rock star, man. Keep an eye on him
Okay.
for soccer. Super ingrained in the sport. I love the dude's attitude, tenacity. It's amazing to see it. Um, we also have see soccer track. Uh, the coach was Gary Morton, who was our track coach this past year. The season they actually running in the state track meet on Thursday. So
Okay.
we got one team, I think the relay team in the track meet. Our middle school track coach is Renika Kennerly, and she's our head coach for the track for middle school. And we also have Candace Hobbs, who's not Candace Hobbs, I'm sorry, Coach Hobbs, who is also the track coach for middle school. Um, let's see, I think I've covered all of it. Baseball. We have a step team, which is a big benefit for
You bet.
Shawnee. The
You
step
bet.
team, man,
You
them
better not
girls,
leave them out. You better not leave them out.
the step team ballers, man. Step team is legit there. And we have a good coach. Coach Millie. Love Coach Millie. Amelia Sullivan. We have a dance coach, Coach Quintessa Edwards. We have cheer coaches who do a great job as well, Coach Samuels and Coach Embry. I feel like I'm missing sport, man. We have there's just so much that goes on at one time. It's insane.
for for
Let's
for
see.
you to- for you to
Let's see.
for you to run down the high school, middle school, man. If you did miss anything, that's okay, brother. Cause hey, that's a lot that
Wrestling,
you did.
wrestling.
Wrestling, okay.
I have I have middle school volleyball, but Coach Darby does that too. But yeah, wrestling, wrestling. Hey, let's give a shout out to wrestling for Shawnee. I have a young lady who wrestles for us in high school who was second place in state. She actually was in the finals.
Mm,
And you're talking about a girl who is going to be a future, and I'm calling it now. That girl, she continues her wrestling career. She will be a future Olympian. She
ooh,
has a future in that sport.
wow.
Yes, she is. She's legit. Our wrestling coach is going to be coaching at Iroquois, so I'm actually on the hunt for a wrestling coach right now.
Okay, okay. Well,
But shout out to Coach Ramsey. Darius Ramsey's a great guy.
when you see her, tell her if she's on social media, give me a follow. You know the 54 Sports, and I might have to pull it on so I can talk to her. You know, anytime you can catch an Olympian early, you got to do that. Got to do that without a doubt. Let me let, let me ask you this, Chris. You know, we've all heard about a lot of the bus situation, things like that. Activity buses are pretty much non-existent in some parts of it. Has that kind of affected any participation in the sports with you guys?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Right. Sorry about that. Sorry.
You good?
Uh, so activity buses. We have a luxury at Shawnee. We have two activity buses.
Okay.
So, but it is a trouble getting kids home. A lot of the kids at Shawnee are neighborhood kids anyway, so they
Hmm.
just walk home,
Right.
or parents come and get them at certain times. Kids have lives that we can't fathom. They got different things going on, whether it's taking care of brothers and sisters or
Hmm.
something. Mom and dad might be working a lot. Just the landscape of how life is right now is just completely different than it was when you and I was children
Right.
and
Right.
kids,
Right.
student athletes and whatnot. So but yeah, that is a struggle, and I think it's going to be a struggle for a lot of schools. But we find a way to overcome it. I don't, I like to say I like to sit here and give it excuses, but I'm not. We're going to find a way to overcome it, and we have to invest in some busing a little bit more to try to find a driver. And taken upon myself to request that I go get my CDL. I've
Mm,
asked a couple head coaches to get their CDLs, and we can start taking kids home.
wow.
Any way we can increase participation. It's going to take some elbow grease at first. It's going to take change is not easy.
Right.
It's hard, but it has to take some work. And if it takes hiring a couple of new bus drivers and say, hey, we're going to do a circle around Portland and this area, we're going to circle around this area
Hmm.
of the West End, so be it. And that's what we're going to do because we need to increase our numbers. We need the kids to have an opportunity, regardless if they can't find a ride or not. That I don't want to hear that excuse. These kids can't get here because they don't have a ride. That's crap. We got two buses. Let's make it work.
Love it. That's big time. I want to get back to it because this was going to be one of my questions, and you said you guys are getting ready to start it. It's talking about the flag football for the young ladies. Like was it the young ladies themselves? Like who came to you, or was this something you was eyeballing? Then how did this come about? This get ready to start this.
Advocate for growing the girls' sports. I'm not sure if you've had her on here, but Dr. Brooks is a huge advocate for girls'
One,
sports.
think
And
once or
I have
twice
been
or three
thinking about
times.
it. He's he's a huge man, and I wanted to do it. I thought about it, and I said, okay, maybe I'll just keep it in the back of my mind because I haven't heard a kid say anything to interested. And then I kid you not, I had two girls walk in our office. I think it was like 2 weeks before school's over. Are we going to have a girls' flag football team? And I was like, man, that's a sign from God. I got to start it. And I've reached out to Holly, Miss Smith, our principal, and I said, hey, she actually I didn't reach out to. She reached out to me and said, hey, I have a girls flag coach. Do we have a girls team? And it was literally a couple days after that girl said something, and I said, holy crap, dude, this is a sign we've got to do this.
Wow, that's
So
dope.
we hired. Yeah, I mean, she brought she brought a coach in front of me, and hey, let's go. And then I'm actually excited when we do orientation in August or in late July to tell the kids we're gonna have a girls flag team. I'm excited about that. It's gonna be cool.
Right, right. That's I love that. I know we talked about it. We had the MVP on here last year. So I mean, hey, I think it was a great idea. They, you know, these young ladies are earning scholarships to college for flag football, all that kind of stuff, man. So why not? Why not? You know? Yeah, yeah, big time.
These kids are getting more opportunities to be Olympians and be high prolific athletes. Let's put NFL and all to the side. You're
Right.
getting a chance on a national level, and I'm sorry, international level to play against and to be an Olympian. Like that is so dope to me.
Yeah, it is. It is. You know, and that's hey, who would have thought that? Who would have thought that? Now it's her, and I love it. I love it. Let me ask you this, Chris. What? How do you feel about? And I don't know how much it impacted you, and I know that in the past it definitely has been a problem. But you know, with all these different rules, man, how do you feel about the transfer rules for sports?
If one, if you have kids who are wanting to transfer, I had a college coach tell me some time ago that it doesn't matter what school you go to. If you're
Mm-hmm.
really good with the amount of technology around here, Twitter, all that stuff, YouTube, somebody's going to find you. It doesn't matter what school you go to. So I think kids are being impatient. Plus, I think there's a lot of voices in their ears they shouldn't be listening to, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
But that's also on us coaches to try to, inform them like, look, not everybody has your best interest. Here's the guys I put in front of you or ladies I put in front of you that have played at this level. I would highly suggest you listen to them. Sometimes you can't just be the parent or an uncle that you really trust. It's like, hey, you need to go to such and such school because of such and such person's getting recruited. But you know that person's getting recruited for that reason. But it's kind of hard to fight with God's intervention in that too. So
True.
uh, I don't care about the transfer thing. I love to
Mm-hmm.
keep the kids as much as I can at Shawnee. I know some of these kids are gonna want to do other things at times, but honestly, it doesn't affect us too much. It really doesn't affect the kids inside the city too much. Teams are going to be put together. Louisville's got a bunch of great coaches who coach regardless of how many kids are going to manual male, whatever schools they're wanting to go to. We have enough coaches around here that can band together and come up with a team. And I'll give you a good example. When I was at J Town with Dante, we were blessed to have um, the guys that we had when we went 9-2 or 10-1, one of the two. But we had two really good athletes, and then the rest of them were all a bunch of J Town kids, man. And these kids didn't get a chance because they were, whatever talent. But guess what?
Mm-hmm.
These kids banded together. They listened to us, and we were highly successful.
Right.
Granted, we had two really good athletes, and that helps. But we took a bunch of group of kids who were told they were nothing, and we made them freaking feel like superstars. And I'll take
Good
that
stuff.
feeling any day of the week. So the transfer thing doesn't really don't phase
Right.
me any. Um, there's too many wandering mouths and not enough listening. And we have again, not to keep beating the dead horse, but we have a bunch of great K coaches around here and ADs that have been in this situation and long term college pros, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
If they, it'd be cool to have someone sit down like, hey, I've been here. This is what we can do to help you, but you've got to stop. You've got to learn to center your focus and not asking everybody their opinion because not everybody's opinion is perfect for yours.
Right. 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 You said something earlier, and it kind of fits my question, man. You're talking about investing into the school and things like in athletes investing. So let me ask you. This is what I had, man. Some sports can be expensive, things like that. What are some resources that are available for the players, man, who would like to play, but their parents cannot afford.
So we have an ample opportunity.
Go ahead.
Great. They have been good about that. We have tons of fundraising we do for football and other sports, but the volleyball courts we build, Churchill Downs has been a crazy moneymaker for the programs this year. So we give them multiple opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
I'll never turn a kid down because he can't afford it. I want to make sure that is known publicly. I'll never do that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, However, I feel there is a work ethic involved and a sweat equity that needs to be shown to this kid that, hey, you can, regardless of your financial situation, you need to learn to work for this. And there's different ways of doing that and teaching these kids how to be productive humans in this world. Um, but the Louisville Sports Commission has been great to JCPS and other teams. There's different things that we ask for donations if we need it. You
Mm-hmm.
know, we really try to survive on our own 2 feet because I think that builds some character, especially with our kids.
Yeah, yeah, I like that. Yeah, you know, and I love that buying into it. You know, because when you do have your own sweats and tears in there and doing what you got to do, it means more. It definitely does. Like you said, even if it's working for that, it definitely means more. Let me ask you this: you got some people, kind of like how you and I talked about before we got on air. Being that you and I are both sports guys and down to the T, what kind of advice would you give someone who wants to become an athletic director?
Honestly, go be a teacher. You have to be a teacher in JCPS. I would highly suggest everybody goes and coach school ball. I'm not taking anything away from the youth leagues. I'm really not. That is a tough job itself. However, you're not getting the full experience of being ingrained in an athletic program unless you're in a school ball setting. So, coach middle school ball, work your way into it. Get behind a coach that you can trust. Get behind an AD you can trust, and learn the game. The best thing I ever did was I was coaching and I was teaching at Iroquois High School, and I worked behind Glendale Zell, who was the old high school AD at Iroquois, and I asked to be his assistant AD because I want to be an assist. I want to be an athletic director one day.
Mm.
And that man taught me the game. I had to go out there and line the football field up on Thursdays. Man, you talking about before turf? That was a giant pain in the ass. It was hot. You had to do your own chalk. It was literally the white numbers. You had to do chalk around the numbers and do those.
Right.
But I had to put this work in. He taught me some great things. So get behind somebody that can teach you that, but also get behind a great head coach and learn your game first. That's what I did. I got behind
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Lucas, learned my game first, and
Mm-hmm.
then build up from there. But I would highly suggest everybody takes the route first and go be a teacher, learn the classroom because what you do in the classroom does kind of translate into athletics,
Mm-hmm.
and then go be a school ball coach and get a mentor. I was blessed with Lacunta Farmer, Glenn Dozell, Antoine Horton, who actually helped mentor me a lot too. He's the AD at Iroquois High School. I was blessed with meeting those guys, and they kind of really pulled me aside and told me to calm my calm myself down and get to know this business inside and out. So I was blessed.
Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, man. I'm gonna give you the opportunity, man. What do you want to what do you want the people to know, man, about Shawnee Athletics, man? The floor is yours. Anything you want to talk about, Shawnee, sports wise, go for it.
I want everyone athletics, and I do mean by shooting for games on Friday nights. The biggest goal we have athletic department for football is to increase the amount of people that come to watch the games. I, putting some of the, Shawnee actually has a very highly successful past where they were really, really good. And, like every program takes a downfall and a dip at some point. However, the come up is always better than the get back. So I really want the alumni, the community, people come involved and really show the kids that they are highly supported. Um, my biggest, we're also going to be doing the best of the West this year. We're playing Central on September 12th.
Uh
We're
oh.
going to be doing, we're planning a parade and bringing back the parade on the September 11th from Shawnee Park to Shawnee since we're hosting it this year. I'm very excited about this. Um, we're also planning. I'm hoping to God the best of the West. Planning works out for all week. We have an event that the Central kids and Shawnee football players and Central football players are all going to be involved in the community, working a luncheon, fundraising. This can be a huge, huge thing for
Mm-hmm.
the community. And I don't care how good or how bad any of the teams are. This is for the kids. This has nothing to do with wins or losses. We are trying to show the kids first class experience, so please come out and support these kids, support the schools. Central's Stegall, Coach Stegall, the AD over at Central, he feels the same way. We need people out. We need that stadium packed on September 12th, Best of the West. Um, if you guys have any questions, any fundraising, sponsorship things for that Best of the West, please feel free to email me, christopher.johnson@jefferson.kyschools.us. We are open and we are willing to work with partnerships. Let's really, really have Shawnee on the come up as the next biggest thing.
I love that. September the 12th is the game.
The West.
Wow, that's dope. I love that. I love that parade. The 54 Sports gonna have to be down in that, man. We're gonna have to, yeah.
Actually, I was going to invite you guys to our media day.
Okay,
I want you guys to come out, meet the kids, talk to Coach Kroon, maybe do some interviews with some of our upcoming seniors. I've got a couple of kids that are just knockout athletes, man. Even better athletes, even better people.
love that, love
So
it.
I want you guys to come out for media day. If you
Yeah,
don't mind, I'll give you a date off air.
yeah,
And I'm really trying to, again, this is going to be fun for the kids. I'm really excited about Media Day this year.
that's good stuff. Yeah, without a doubt, man. Hey, man. Before I get you off her, go ahead and give the thanks and praise to everybody who's been in your corner, man.
Hey, thank you to everybody. Again, some of the names I've mentioned, all the way from Manual High School, Dr. Oliver Lucas. That man is like a second father to me. Um, Russell Rigdon, also offensive coordinator, new offensive coordinator, Eastern High School. Big whoop to him. Whoop whoop. Adrian Morton, who I worked under at Ballard. Big, huge shout out to Coach LaCunta Farmer. Huge, huge inspiration to me. Um, Also, shout out to all the old Ballard guys that I coached with over at the times. Dante Ellison at J Town. Um, Big shout out to Coach David Hicks. You know, when I was coaching at Fairdale football, Dover is the head coach. I was working under him. Hicks was the basketball coach, and me and Hicks had some cool talks. Man, as a really standout guy, he's now the AD at Fairdale. Shout out to Coach Jolly, newly retired. Shout
Hmm.
out to Chance Rattler, all the administration staff at Shawnee. Everybody's been in my corner since day one. I really appreciate everything you guys done, and my job is not to let you down. So thank you.
Hey,
Shout
man.
out to God too.
I know that's right. Shout out to God. Shout out to the family. All that good stuff like that. Uh, very, very impressed, man, and can see a lot of greatness is headed your way, headed to Shawnee, all that good stuff, man. Anytime that 54 Sports could help out, yeah, just let me know. You know how to reach me. You know what I'm saying, like that. And hey, I can't wait, man. Excited. Very excited, man. Haven't been at the new turf yet. Definitely will be going this football season. We're gonna be back on the map doing our thing. So hey, man, I'm very proud of you. Continue to do your thing, and hey, why not? Why not? Why not, Shawnee? Why not?
But you might be the first person that's going to hear this, but I haven't even brought it to coach yet or anybody. But literally, I was just put that on a T-shirt. Why not us?
Right,
And that's it. That's all we need to say. Why not us?
right.
Everybody else can do it. Why can't we?
That's right. That's right. Big time. I love it. I love it. I want to thank you, Chris, for joining me tonight, man. To start off the new season, so to speak, of the Wheel Show. And you know how to get at me. I'm sure we'll talk and discuss some things. But thank you for joining me tonight.
Appreciate you guys. An awesome opportunity. I'm so grateful. You guys are welcome anytime.
All right. I'll talk to you later, Chris. Bye. Big time, big time, big time. And that's what we need, man. I mean, we're going to have more coaches on, more ADs, players. Chris is on the right track. Can't wait to see what's going down there in Shawnee. I know my mother's probably happy, a Shawnee grad, and my uncle, another Shawnee grad. But That's what it's all about. It's for the kiddos, man. It's for the kiddos. Getting everything in line. You don't have to go to some of these big schools to be productive. You can go anywhere, like he said. So, nothing but the grass. Don't forget, finish voting. Finish voting for our softball and baseball players of the week. Please go ahead and do that. The winners will be announced tomorrow on the Derby City Sports Review Show with the guys. So, another banger. Y'all know how it is. God bless. I'm out. Peace.
It's the what? It's the what? It's the Will Show. It's the Will Show. Only thing I know, only thing for sure. It's the Will Show. It's the Will Show. Tune in every week. He gonna let you know. It's the what? It's the what? It's the Will Show. Only thing I know, only thing for sure. It's the Will Show. It's the Will Show. How's everything you wanna know? Keep up everything about sports so you gon' catch his flow, never be low. Check it every day, cause he gonna upload. You gonna be happy, cause you call his flow. Talking, he gonna make you even wanna talk. Might even get inspired, take it for a walk. Listen to his voice, yeah, you have a choice. But if you don't listen, you gonna be lost. Catch your attention like Randy Moss. Share it like you really just did a toss. Kick your feet up, enjoy the show like you a boss. He's gonna make you happy so you don't worry. Like and subscribe and join the ride. Not from Alabama, but we stay roll tide. Shows every night, so you better slide. Hit the nutty zone to be on our side. It's the